Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at CRCL. It is time for another update, and on this chart it seems we have followed through very nicely in our expectations to push directly lower within this area where we were tracking still further continuation to the downside from somewhere around these levels to a significant degree. Probably we were expecting potentially even lower prices than we got, and not necessarily prices, but at least another leg down was possible. But clearly we have formed a local bottom and we have nearly formed a new all-time low. And while this isn't a full invalidation of this 1-2 setup that we were potentially tracking initially in the white scenario, because we haven't formed an actual new all-time low, I will go ahead and fully remove the white interpretation from the chart, where honestly, even if we are to actually form an overall larger uptrend from this area, I wouldn't be considering it from this actual low, from the beginning of the IPO, to be tracking this as a 1-2 setup or anything like that, even an AB setup. I would instead start tracking this overall uptrend from this low anyway. Even if it hasn't yet formed a new low, it is in the realm, based on how close it got to doing that, it is in the realm of having a distortion allow such an interpretation. Now, with that said, right now we aren't necessarily tracking anything bullish. We are still dealing with two scenarios, both of them bearish, one more than the other. And here from the all-time high, we are tracking in yellow an initial 1-2 setup, a third wave down, fourth wave up, and then a fifth wave to the downside. In this interpretation, we actually have a full 5-wave structure to the downside complete, and we don't expect or need any additional lows. We're tracking a leading diagonal and we have all the 5 waves, and we can start looking for the larger area of resistance that could be met to begin with at the $116.82 level, which goes all the way up to the $216 level at the 78.6% retracement. Now, we won't focus on this interpretation just yet on this area of resistance, because we are still very far away from those levels, and there is an interpretation that allows even further extensions lower. So in orange, we are tracking an even more bearish scenario where we are still looking for an overall larger leading diagonal to be forming to the downside, and we would have the same wave 1 down, wave 2 up. But in this overall movement that has occurred so far, we would still be tracking the third wave itself, where we would be tracking this as an ABC structure, in which case, in the wave C, we would expect still to form another low before looking for the large retracement in an even larger wave 4, where again, we will expect still for the continuation lower. And in that case, in this area, as I was mentioning in the previous video, we were tracking a wave C to the downside, within which we are tracking a larger ending diagonal. And in this diagonal structure, in the wave 3, we had an ABC structure where we could have allowed even further continuation lower, but it seems the correct count would have, or not would have been, is right now probably an ABC structure where the A wave bottomed here, the B wave topped here, and we have an impulse that formed here in this wave C to the downside. And we have followed through quite nicely. We have extended lower here within the wave 3 itself, and then we formed a fourth, a very tiny wave 4, and then a fifth wave to take us even lower. Now, with that said, we can remove all these small time frame interpretations from this area and focus on the larger area of resistance for this wave 4. And in this case, we can actually even draw it, because we have the wave 3 complete. We have all the sufficient data to be tracking the resistance area for the wave 4, which is between the $78.7 all the way up to the $107.6 level. Now, in this uptrend that we have formed in this area so far, it seems actually decently healthy. This clearly is no impulse forming in this area. It is, in the best case scenario, a diagonal structure, if we are to track an overall larger 5-wave move to the upside, where I may be able to consider this a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and then possibly a third wave to the upside. Now, within this wave 3, as we are tracking a larger diagonal structure, we could be looking for a potential ABC movement, where if I were to add an internal count, which I won't right now, it is already mostly done most likely, I would consider this possibly an A wave up, a B wave down, and then a C wave that could have unfolded here in this area to the upside. Now the thing is, within this interpretation in the wave C, I would actually expect a possible top already, But I could argue that within the wave C, since we need a 5-wave move, I could argue that this is a 1, 2. This is the third wave itself, where we still need here a fourth and a fifth to complete the larger wave 3 in this case. And this is an interpretation that is possible for me to be tracking, since, yeah, internally, this does work out within an ending diagonal of a larger wave C. And we will be tracking this in the white scenario right now, and not because this could not in the end still work out as either a larger WXY pattern, many different interpretations, but even though it could work within the orange interpretation, this could actually be a count that could allow a larger, more bullish uptrend to be going on. Where if we actually manage to form here the full 5-wave structure, we will have a very interesting potential trade setup for even a 1-2, but if not that, maybe at least a larger ABC movement as part of the yellow interpretation, yeah, that could still work out. Now, in that case, we can even go here internally and look for support in the small time frame between the $86.4 all the way down to the $81 level. It seems we are plagued in this area with diagonal structures, and again, it is possible that this larger wave 3 is already complete, and in that case we may need to be prepared for a deeper retracement, but I could see still here a fourth and a fifth to still be playing out. Yeah, I could still see further extensions higher, and of course other interpretations are possible, but right now this is probably the best interpretation I could see play out for this chart anyway. Now again, if we can assume a larger third wave top, I will provide you the last level of support to watch out for in the possibility of further continuation higher, and we will be looking here all the way down to the 61.8% retracement for this entire wave 3 at the $75.7 level. So again, if we want to still continue in a potential 5-wave move to the upside, at least the $75.7 level needs to hold. If we extend directly higher within this wave 3, we would expect to hold the $81 level, but once this movement would be complete, we would still expect such a larger retracement in wave 4. And again, if we manage to form this larger structure to the upside, we may have a reliable pattern to be tracking for an actual trade setup, not something like this. But if we fail and we form only something like an ABC movement, or even a different pattern which is in 3 waves, we won't be looking for a potential trade setup, and we will be considering a potential top within this wave 4, especially since right now we have only gotten basically to around the 38.2% retracement, which is the ideal target for the wave 4. Yeah, we got rejected around this area, and we may already be on our way to the downside, which is why we are tracking these internal areas of support that could allow us to still track continuation higher. And for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.